Sorry if I go back over anything, but yeah, that's basically the long and short of it. Playing a random game, you can't really learn anything. But with these, you can. I mean, some features on here are rubbish. Some of them are jackpot. There's a way on these to turn the feet. Well, you wouldn't know it. It doesn't tell you anywhere, but if you play it enough, you would find out that by having this bonus number here, if you have a bonus number behind this little gap here, like there is there, you see it behind there? Any feature you take, pretty much any feature you collect, while that number is there, bonus number, any bonus number is behind there, turns a feature super. Now, I played this loads when I was a kid. I was underage when I used to play this in a pub near me. I used to play it when I was about 15, 16. And I never knew that. I knew the features could go super, but I didn't know how you made it do it. It wasn't until I bought one that someone commented saying, that makes it super. So, this is little things you can learn about the machines, and you can just figure things out. Sometimes figure out yourself, sometimes people might mention it to you, where with this it's sort of, it can roll in the 7s 3 times, or the X's or the bars 3 times, and you sort of know that, give it 10, 20 quid back. If it don't do anything, probably won't do anything else, but it still could, and it does sometimes, doesn't always. But you can sort of get a little feel, or have half a guess of when to leave it, when on this kind of machines. There's no right and wrong of ever leaving it. The only right is to never really play it. I mean, gambling, you pretty much should lose overall anyway. But these kind of machines are what made it possible, where you could turn a profit one night. You could end up being up because you knew more than somebody else. The same with these kind of games. This quiz machine works a little bit differently. It does have a percentage payout. It is sort of compensated in a way. Basically, how this works is the percentage payback is a lot lower on this. It can be as low as like 30%. Now, that's terrible. But for your 50p, a game could last you 3 or 4 minutes, even more sometimes. I mean, these tournament games, you don't win money on these, it's just for the fun of it. So, forget them. You're not really interested in them. You could play this kind of crap on your phone for nothing. But these kind of games you are playing for money. Now, this is a skill game, but it is a fixed return. When this first come out, it was pure skill, and you could win a tenner. But if you made it really, really dead, hold on. If you made it really, really dead, it made the top prize £1. Yeah, so if you got all the way to the end, all you won was £1, and it would be silly hard to get there. So effectively, if it was £1 to go, you had no way of actually winning. It was, but then what they done is they changed the concept of it to a guaranteed £10 win. Now, if we load it back up, you'll see what I mean here. It says a certain amount of games remaining. This is now a tournament game, so there's 30 games remaining there. Now, when they're played off, whoever has the top score wins £10, and then it resets back to 50 games. So it's going to cost £25 to play them games off, but only £10 is ever paid back to the players. That's not even half. But again, your go would last a couple of minutes. You basically have to, clear your 501. And if you do it the quickest, if you're really good at it, I mean, I know people who can do it in 20 seconds. I can do it in about 20 seconds best, when I used to try it and practice it a lot. But that's why the return to player is so low on these games. Try Towers, again, is another game where it was 50p a go, and it's only putting about 15 pence towards what you can win. And the other 35p is just taken for profit, which is quite bad, considering when you play 50p on that, about 45%, probably 45p or 40p is going to what you can win, not 15. So, but your 50p game could last that long. So, or it could if you get on the board last a minute or two. But on this, pretty much every game is going to last a few minutes on the quiz games. This was updated. I had it on the newest menu you could get, absolute newest menu you could get, but I fucked it up somehow. And it's gone back to this menu, which I don't want. I had like this brand new menu on with all the Arkanoid on and everything, and I wanted it where I could have all them on, plus the casino games, and I still haven't rung up. I need to ring up Games Warehouse to get them to talk me through it. This is another compensated game. Again, this pays out tokens over a certain amount, but again, if you just sat here pressing fuck out of it, never collecting, because it's compensated, it has to return so much over so many credits, it will start trying to throw the money back at you, and it will just start giving you nudges for jackpot and things. So that is pretty much what it will do. So it doesn't mean any fruit machine is, if you just collect nothing, it will pay jackpot fairly quickly. Some machines, yeah, it could be on 80%, and you could be £250 in, still ain't 100 quid yet, because it's not putting all that money directly to one place to win the money from, if that makes sense. These older machines, most of the money is going to one place to win the money from, where the newer machines, like these two, are pretty much, if you don't collect nothing, eventually it will pay a jackpot. But you can make this stupidly dead, because there's ways to play this where you can end up where it will not give you a win. No matter what you do, you can try anything you like with it, it will not let you get on the board for 60, 70, 80 pound. And the same applies to that. If played, that pretty much perfect play, the best way you could play it, where there is no best way to play that apart from that's the only option you have is press that button. So that's sort of try and clear that up to you. But yeah, so if you're in America and you sort of don't understand what these are about, these are like a game, and they have categories over here, but that's normally relevance to the jackpot. What we know this is a high tech. This is a high tech. You could say that's sort of more low tech, or in a way, because not a lot's going on. It's not complicated. High techs are more complicated. They involve more strategy to play than this is a low tech. It's fairly basic. It's just you don't even need to do anything. It'll play itself. Still compensated, but it'll play itself. So you don't really need to know too much about what's going on. You could play this quite easily. Right. You don't really have much involvement of what's going on. Until it wants to pay out, it will pay out. But you could sit here and go, probably dead, ain't done much, give up, move on. You might be right. But with them, again, coming back to this random, playing a tenner for it won't tell you nothing. Playing 100 quid for it won't tell you nothing about what it's going to do next. So with these, you can sort of, I got on the board, it offered me 2 quid. I went learn an 11, 12. Got on the board again, offered me 2 or 3 quid. Learn a 10, 11. I was, bollocks, I've just cut my losses. I've lost 6 quid. It probably isn't going to pay. Where it's always irrelevant with them. You can always tell a good cigar. I mean, I've still got loads of this left. You always tell a good cigar by how long it will just last you. This is recommended about a 40 to 1 hour smoke. I haven't had a proper cigar in weeks. I have an odd Hamlet every now and then. If I'm out on a bit of a sesh, and I do really well, so I might treat myself to some Hamlets, because you can't really get these many places. Not many places sell proper cigars. Not to make a video about cigars, but I don't always have cigars. I don't, some people smoke cigars every day. Weeks could go by, I don't even have one. I just don't mind them, because if I buy cigarettes, I'll just be addicted to smoking again, which I don't want. So in America, the jackpots are so big, and they're normally random, you can't sit there and say, well, I've done $1,000 in it, it's got to pay something, or I've done $5,000 in it. Saying you've lost in a random game is like us walking into a casino and I say to you, that bloke just lost 10 grand on that roulette wheel. You want to get on it? You might go and win. Fucking hell, yeah, I won on that. Yes, because he lost. No, it's nothing to do if he lost. It's just randomly you won. And the same sort of thing applies with these. I have put thousands through a random game, and walked away, you know, because you have to. It doesn't have to give you anything. But a compensated machines like this, yeah, you might get deep into it, but you know something's got to come back. It might not be a profit, but your mind will say, well, I'm £60 into this, you got 35 quid back. And it will say to you, probably just give up. Yeah, take my loss. And if you're really addicted, you'll want to carry on because you love the game. But it's something that the back of your mind will say to you, let's get off it. Well, it's very hard to leave these kind of games. I don't hate all these kind of games. I mean, they can be fun to play because they are easy. You can just sit back and it'll play itself, and you can just watch the reel spin round. But you are buying entertainment in all forms of gambling, but these are the purest form of just buying entertainment. You mathematically, the longer you play this, the more you're going to lose. No matter if you try and judge when to jump on, you will not beat it. Stupidly lucky you might short term, but it's going to get you in the end. This, if you learn it a bit, you can get a sort of a feel when to get off and when to come back onto it, you know, as long as you can shark people. Sharking someone on this is irrelevant. It's literally like waiting in a casino for someone to lose at a roulette wheel and then jumping on that roulette wheel after them. It's just chance. It is always just chance. Every press is like playing a scratch card, if you want to look at it like that way. Where these is, yes, as someone loses in it, your chances of winning on it after them go up. If someone's won out of it, your chances of winning on it have gone down. So which is in like now with the introduction of digital pub machines, a lot of them have to tell you, well, they all have to tell you over in England. Every machine has to tell you whether it's random or compensated, and the return. So if you read, yeah, we know if you read this there, it does tell you this game is random, and this game is 100% random, and it has an average payout of 90%. So this has told me it's random. This over here, the pub fruits, somewhere on these pub fruits, it does. The older ones might not tell you about the compensated, but it'll always say, this normally is a good clue of an old school. The outcome of any game or feature is not necessarily that shown, but it's displayed, and it will say, you know, you have little, or it may offer you a time where you have little or no chance of success, and that's basically saying that if it's dead, you're going to lose. As you can go low on 11, it will hit a 12. You go, oh, bloody, what are the odds of that? That's ridiculous. That's rigged. It is rigged in a way because it means it's dead. It's too dead to go to the next stage. Bit like saying, if you're here at 40 quid on an 11, you go lower. If that ain't happy enough to let you get 70 quid yet, you're getting a 12. It's not chance. It's not like, what a bastard. That was unlucky. I only had like a 8% chance of that 12. No, you didn't. It was 100% chance of that 12 because it wasn't happy enough to pay it. Or on a random slot, it's a bit different. You could go, there's a small chance of me losing here, and it should win, but it could lose. That you got unlucky in a way. It doesn't matter because it doesn't think about how happy it is. It just knows long term you're gonna, it's gonna make that profit. And that's what is annoying when you see someone in a pub on a pub digital machine, and this is never explained. They snuck in the random pub fruit. There was no mass thing about it. They didn't put up a big billboard in the pub, did they? Explain what... They just said, it's random. We've told them, that's all we got to do. A little bit of writing on there. Most people who play machines, who gamble, don't even read the help. Go to America. They get nothing. They don't even know what return they're getting on a fruit machine. They could be playing a slot machine on the Vegas Strip that's at 60%, and they don't have to tell them. By law, there's no law saying we have to tell you. People over here think, oh yeah, minimum is 70%. It has to be 70% by law. It doesn't. I can prove to you on this doesn't pay out 70%. It's set to 30, 40% on some games. All it has to do is tell you what it has to pay back. I don't know if it applies to a skill game, them laws or them rules, but if this does not pay back 70% on a lot of the games, they're all way lower than that. But on everything else, it pretty much somewhere will tell you the percentage payout. I don't know if this one does. These are quite old, you see. You've got maybe some of these machines are 20, 30 years old, but it'll normally tell you somewhere on the machine if you look hard enough. That doesn't. It's ancient. But on here, look, it sort of. Where is it? See, minimum payout. You can't really see it. Minimum payout 70% because that's the lowest you can set it to. On here, see, minimum 82. It's a bit higher than a normal pub fruit machine because they're normally just spinning the reels most of the time. There's not much going on where you're not spending money on it. I have seen these as high as 90 in places. I've also seen them as low as 70. There is no need for that on a low-tech machine to ever put them on 70%. The amount of money they can turn through. I mean, if I opened it, if I put this in my arcade, this is gonna say 88, 90. It's guaranteed. Pub fruits I would never set lower than about 84, 86. Never. So that's how I'd have them all set if I was going to play, because it doesn't sound like a lot. 10%, it's 10 every 100, but it does it to a person who gambles a lot. You're gonna, over your lifetime, that's thousands of pounds you're not gonna be able to play through. You're gonna just lose thousands of pounds quicker. To me, I'd rather have someone enjoy and play longer for, you know, I'm going to keep blaming this, but there is pluses to this, that you don't need to know what you're doing. That is the plus to that. It is just chance. Anybody can win, from Blue Rinse Brigade to, you know, the person who's gambled for years. They can all potentially win something on that, but you're all going to lose in the end. No one's going to be able to beat it. There's nothing to beat. It's just play for fun. So I keep going over the same topics here, but I don't really plan out my videos. I just chat, because I can just chat. It's easy for me. So, but yeah, that is the problem with pub fruit digitals. People are going, oh yeah, they're brilliant. I've won jackpot twice out of them, 3 times, 4 times. But they always eventually come back and say to me, I played one last night, £400. Didn't get jackpot once. Disgusting. That's not disgusting, that's random. That's what happens. It is no different to when you know, people, you've probably played bookies roulette, some of you, when you're watching that zero and it says 300 spins since zero. Fucking hell, that's due. It just went 300 spins without hitting. It could go another 300 spins without hitting. You know, that's random for you. It hasn't got to win. But then another day you're walking and go, fucking hell, I just hit 0 3 times in a row. Or hit 5 3 times in a row, or 9. It will happen. But when it don't happen, and normally, on average, it's going to come in every 40 spins, on average, 30 odd spins on average, but you're going to hit days where you walk in there and that number will not come in for hundreds, and that is when you lose thousands. And the same applies to them random machines. So just remember, if the machine is random, don't think, well, mathematically, I should get this back. I should get a bit of this back. You've got to look at it as, that money's gone. If you get anything back, well, okay, you've got to try and walk when you're happy, but my advice would be try and stick to games that aren't random. There is games on them that aren't random, they're a bit more compensated. If you read them, but always load them up and read them, because people in America don't get this luxury of being told what the return is, and if it's a random or compensated game, they get fuck all. And they actually want to be told that, but they don't. You don't, any casino you walk into, you don't know what return you're getting. But over here, we have to tell us. So take advantage of it. That's my advice. If you're over in England and you're playing any game, walk in the services. Just there. Just press the help button. Run through. You know, if it says 88% and you're on £2 to go, fuck off. Don't play it. Just don't put money in it. Just go, no, I'm not playing it. I might as well go to an arcade, or you might as well go online and get 98. You know, if you're going to play these, you might as well go to an arcade, look at your 92%, free tea and coffee. The service is going to charge you fucking £100 parking charge for parking for 2 hours, which I think is fucking disgusting. Because there's no windows, no clock, but yet you're responsible for your 2 hour parking after you've been playing their fucking 88% £2 to go 500s cunts. Oh, it winds me up. I've got loads of parking tickets from parking fines. And I think that's what I'd argue. If I went to court, I'd just say I'm a compulsive gambler. Like entrapment. That's how it feels. It feels like an entrapment by how they operate like that. You know, if I'm gambling in there and I'm spending money, give me the free parking. Most do, but there is some that don't. If you've got any sense, you'd be having a drink watching these videos as well. But yeah, I'm trying to explain it to you the best way I can. I know it's taken a long time. I know it's like nearly a 40-minute video. But that is the sort of basics of it. Of why, not because I'm a player and I play fruit machines as a living sort of thing. It's not a glorified life. Don't worry about it. I'd rather, if I could go back, I probably would never play them. I'd just concentrate on something else. But it's the reason most of us players, the only reason you don't like it is because you can't make money out of it. What the fuck are you gambling for then? You gamble to try and make some money. And you all presume, and you all bang on to me. I've had it in loads of pubs. I travel all over the country, in casinos, pubs, bookies. Everyone talks to me like they're playing one of them, like it works like these. Because they don't know. They don't realise this is just random. It is a random game. If it says compensated, yes, it does owe you something if you've put something in it, or a lot of money in it. It'll owe you something. Not guaranteed your money back, but it'll owe you something eventually. But when you see that word random, you are not guaranteed anything back. Unless you play tens of thousands of credits. But you could still be well down on that, because you could get a really bad run of tens of thousands of credits. Just like you could have a really bad run of hundreds of spins on a roulette wheel. On average, it shouldn't really happen. It won't really happen often. But that day it does happen, it will annihilate you. They bang on about promoting responsible gambling. These are way more responsible than, in my eyes, than them. Because you never know where you are, and you're never going to learn anything about it. You're never going to get a feel for it. It's a bit like you play blackjack, or you play a roulette wheel. You never know when to walk away. How can you know when to stop? So why start? Blackjack, they are fun. They are entertaining games. But you wouldn't want to play them every day, would you? But I can play these pretty much every day, and I don't lose all my money. And it's because, why? Well, because you sort of get a feel for them a little bit. I'm not saying I'll always win out of these. When I was younger, I didn't. I used to play them until I lost all my money, because I knew I shouldn't be playing them. I knew it wouldn't pay out anymore. But the addiction made me walk back up to it half an hour later. Even though the reels were the same as when I left it, no one's played it, I'd go back on it because I was silly. But you knew you were probably going to lose. You walked up to it, but it was the addiction. But eventually you learn to sit around and wait and bide your time. And, you know, I had it out last night, so I'm not going to play it tonight, you know. Yeah. That's about what I could probably say on it, really. My next video is probably going to be on how much online pisses me off. Yeah. I'm going to finish the rest of this cigar off.